Alright, so let's move on to our jetpack. Gear, high poly. There's our jetpack right there. And yeah, I'm going to derive my low and smooth from the high poly here. Already has the edge loops I need. Alright, so we're going to select all this kit bash stuff and all that. We'll duplicate and we'll move this into our smooth group. Let's hide our high poly and bring up our smooth group. And then what we need to do here is take all this kit bash stuff. Looks like we're forgetting some buttons on this side. So let's do a modify freeze and reset on the buttons we have the right side on. Control D. And let's do a -1 in the X scale. And we'll get them on that side now too. Alright, now let's do a combine into one object here. Yeah, and let's do a smooth and a smooth. There we go. Delete all by type history. Let's drop it in our smooth group and let's call this rocket smooth mesh. And that's what we'll bake from. Let's hide our smooth. Let's bring back our gear high poly. And we'll just duplicate our base rocket right here and drop it into our low poly. Hide our layers, bring back our low poly. I'm going to do a single smooth on it. And that'll match my silhouette better. But I can go in and clean up some of these unnecessary edge loops it creates. Usually I find that'll create about 1, 2, 3 edge loops between every little area that I want it to between every span of ring faces. I don't know what to call it, but there we go. 1, 2, 3, delete. 1, 2, 3, delete. 2, 3, delete. 1, 2, 3, delete. I'm just going to delete that first one. You know, I'll go up the other side on my own later. I'm just going to delete one edge loop. 1, 2, 3. We'll delete that center edge loop. And then around these, looks like we can easily take away these 3. Okay. Now let's go up the this side right here. I'll just delete one there. I think I'm just going to delete one edge loop on my way up. And then I'm going to delete these 3. Notice how I'm keeping those bevels nice and intact. See? Bevel, bevel. Ring of bevels right there. And is that it? Looks like it. And now I have a low poly rocket pack. It's pretty low poly, but also will conform I don't know why these words are doing this. I'm going to fix it. They look better right there. Boom, boom. Oh, you know what? I got all these inside rockets edges to worry about. Every little face counts. Alright, so that's my rocket. I really like this method of deriving your low poly from a single smooth high poly and then going in and taking away faces. I don't like that though. Let me go in and zoom in on the front top right here. So what I'm going to do to fix this stupid star effect that happened, I'm just going to delete all these faces right here. Let's bring back my smooth. I'm just going to, oh, looks like it happened naturally too. I'm just going to naturally come in and remodel this. Actually, we'll do something like that. And then we'll just bring them into the center because, I mean, there we go. Low poly, we can have triangles. Alright, that's my low poly rocket. Do I have it named as such? I do not. Delete all by type history just to be safe. Rocket, low, mesh, 101. Increment and save. Alright, let's do the helmet next. Alright, so we got this thing is our high poly, and then our buttons. So I'm going to grab all these, duplicate them, drag and drop them into my smooth group, hide my high poly group, make visible my smooth layer group, combine them all, and we'll do our double smooth. Very cool. So this is my Mando helmet, high poly. Delete all by type history, helmet, smooth group. And original doesn't exactly match up anymore for whatever reason. So this is derive my low poly from my high poly. Man, how's my edge flip messed up like this? I'm going to go in and fix that real quick. I thought I fixed that. Oh, let's turn symmetry on. Don't get too zealous. That'll do. I guess I just don't know why these edge loops. Because of that right there. Okay. I'll quit second guessing my modeling. Alright, I will fix the topology for the low though. Alright, so I'll duplicate just the helmet, leave the kit bash behind. Let's stuff it in my low poly group. And let's bring it back. So if I do one smooth, let's see how heavy it gets. Pretty not good. You know what? I'm going to go in and delete these holes out. So I'll select the center one, grow my selection, make those holes, and I'll come back and use my Pen polygon tool. Remember, I didn't want these holes to be part of my high poly. Well, I did want it to be part of my high poly. I didn't want these holes to be in my silhouette of my low poly. Okay, so most are going to be easy to fix. A delete will undo. A missed click for the Pen tool instead of Control Z. I know it's weird. Press the G button to bring back the last tool you used. I'll just mirror duplicate over in a second. And as for this, I think it was closer to something like this. I'll go back in and do a relax on it after I build it back up. But to get this to work, I'm just going to have to do a good old-fashioned extrude. And snap. Extrude and snap. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay, let me finish what I'm doing. It'll lead nicely into getting the original topology back. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and just look at this helmet from the front. Now let's turn symmetry off so I can select just half. F will zoom in on stuff. And then what I want to do is, let's merge those verts I was snapping a second ago. And I think it's just a matter of snapping back those extruded faces. There we go. So remember, we started making those, I made those holes by selecting these faces and extruding in. So this is just an example of me snapping back these verts. And then through the magic of sculpt tools, relax mainly, it's like they never existed. Very nice. Let me do, I think this is, I don't know why that happened. I think now I'm having to make a decision if this is poly heavy enough just to use this. I think I'm just going to go, I'm not going to smooth. Just going to get rid of support edge loops. And use this as geometry. or my low poly. What's going on? There we go. This is weird. Start with edge loops you know are continuous and aren't going to mess with your silhouette. And then you can slowly whittle your way down. Merge those. That doesn't need to exist. This one doesn't need to exist anymore. Just getting rid of these support edge loops. I'm going a little fast because I know kind of how this topology works. But you may want to go a little bit slower and double check things before you commit to deleting. That's not very smooth up there. Alright, it may relax, but it doesn't smooth. I may have to hand fix some of this stuff. Again, experience just lets me know exactly what a good edge flow looks for organic stuff. It's just kind of like seeing the flow of these edge loops and just keeping it nice and continuous and flowy as possible. I know it doesn't help too much. Alright, so we got some N-gons going on. That's what needs to go. That one, that's actually part of the top of the helmet here. And we got some weird geometry going on right here. That just takes a merge to the center. What is this doing? Absolutely nothing. Alright. So we've deleted enough edge loops and the like. Create a decently believable mesh display. Soften edge. Alright, and let's actually do a soften harden edge. There we go. And I'm going to reset, freeze, and reset its transformations. Control D, duplicate over, mesh, combine, merge those verts. And there we go. Let's do another mesh display, soften harden. Delete all by type history because I combined. We'll call this helmet low 1. Oh no. We lost some of our detail here. we got to go back in and model it. So I'm going to create an edge right here with our multi-cut tool. And let's just go back and rebuild this. There we go. You know what? I'm going to use the power of the live surface to help me get my verts exactly where I want them to go. Snap them. It'll snap them right to the ridge there. And now we have a weird in-gone situation. Whoa. Let's get out of that. Excuse me. That was a weird inside face, wasn't it? I'll come back and get it fixed. There we go. Rebuilding geometry. Okay, I'm going to have to go back and remirror. Snap to. Control D. There we go. All right. I would only caught that because I went back and checked my my smooth versus the low poly I had just made. So don't forget to do that every time you make a new low poly. Delete all by type history. Nice. All right, let's finish up by making the low poly head. All right, so let's bring in my that's my smooth high poly head. So I'm going to duplicate it and just drop it into smooth. So let's call this head smooth mesh. All right, and hopefully my original body head matches it pretty good. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. Let's see. That's my high poly. Get rid of high poly. What happened here? Let's remove that from the high poly head group and add it to the smooth group. Wait a minute. We need to put that back there. Just a little bit of organization. Alright, cool. So that's my smooth head. It's in the right layer and everything. And if we bring in my original body head, it matches okay. Let's delete that key. I'm going to duplicate it and put it into my low poly group. And where did it go? Ah, there we go. I want to go back a few steps because I had it. Low poly group. There it is. Let's make sure it's okay. That's smooth. That's my original head. Alright, it's just the outliner was bugging out a little bit. It said it wasn't visible, but it was. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. Delete all by type history just to be safe. Let's call this head low mesh 001. And I want to keep this density of polys for my high poly head. But you'll notice when I bring in the smooth, it could be a closer fit. You can see here at the chin and all that. So what we're going to do is, I think the eyelids are the eyelids lined up? Oh, I don't think it was lined up properly. So let's get it lined up according to the eyelids. All right, there we go. I remember I had to hand position it earlier. All right, so I'm just going to deal with half of my low poly. So I'm going to delete half my face here. That'll be the quickest way to do this. And what we need to do is make sure that the mass is the same by doing a shrink wrap effect. I don't really want to shrink wrap around. Well, let's just see. Let's just see how it does. Two verts. So we just want to do the insides. Ah, crap. Forgot to make the smooth, the live surface magnet thing. Two verts, and then we'll deselect the verts. We don't want these to get met, and then we'll do an invert selection. Alright, so if we barely just touch, just like I thought the horns get all messed up, I'm going to have to do the horns manually. So I don't want to shrink wrap these. It's like as soon as you move it, it tries to figure out the closest surface to snap everything to. There we go. It gets a little crunchy back here. So we'll just go and hand touch up the ear a little bit. Okay, pretty good. Now the eyes may get a little messed up, and they are. Just make sure we're getting the eye shelf properly, the eyelid shelf. That shrink wrap made sure that we have the exact same kind of silhouette across the smooth version and the low version. So coming in here is well worth the time, just to make sure we get that exactly right. And that's why we're only doing one side. And then I guess I'll come in with a relax brush. Relax things up a little bit. Okay, that should be nice. So let's figure out how to get these horns going good. So it's might be a little tedious, so I'm gonna kind of just take these edge loops one by one and get them to kind of snap. So we don't have enough geometry to accurately describe these. So we have to go in and add our own custom geometry. And then I'm just doing a scale to get it to snap completely good. I'm going to merge these to the center here. And then I'm going to use the slide edge tool. Slide that up. And I'm going to come in here and insert another edge loop. And then I guess I'll grab the relax brush. Just make sure the edge loops are nicely spaced out. Very nice. Very nice one. So I'm going to go ahead and snap all these to points. And we'll just do the same technique where we'll take this part and we'll just scale them so they snap in. Just a touch of a scale. And since we have our head underneath as a live surface, they snap beautifully to our horns. Then we're going to want to insert some more edge loops. Oh, Since we merged these into triangles here, it's now my turn to go into edge mode and slide the edge that we do have up there, and that gives us plenty of topology to go in and add the rest of the edge loops. Cool. All right, I'm going to do these for the rest of that same process for the rest of the horns. Let me pause and I'll be right back. All right, I added more geometry. Some of these edge loops came out funky looking, so I'm going to go in with my relax tool and just kind of defunkify them. For the most part, they match the silhouette pretty good. Okay. And it's almost hard to understand, but I think I'm finished. Oh, shnikes. Definitely don't want that to happen. So it looks like some part of my inner mouth box got messed up. Let's unlivify what's going on there. Holy goodness. That whole inside of my mouth box got messed up. Let's just delete it all and remake another one. So we'll just double click that edge loop and deselect everything that's not part of this mouth box. And rotate it down, push it down, shrink it in. Let me grab these two verts and snap them to the center of the grid. Like so. And I'll just leave that as a whole because you're not going to see into there anyway. All right. All that's left to do is mirror it over. So we'll freeze, reset, Control D, -1, mesh. Oh, looks like we're not exactly on the center line anymore. So let's fix that. Grab all those edges. Deselect those mouth box verts. There we go. Snap it to the center. Let's try that again then. Mesh. Let's go back. And there we go. That is my low poly, horns included, for my head. Delete all by type history. Just put my head back in there. Alright, so that's my character. And if you want to reassemble, you can, but I'm going to leave mine exploded. It'll be easier to UV it all out like this. Alright, so thanks for watching. I'm going to go ahead and increment and save that. And we'll call it a day.